Composition 11. Colloquialism and slang is a topic that we'll look at. Unit 4 is about personal and social responsibility. Assignment 4.3 is an elevator pitch. Assignment 4.4 is an editorial assessment. Assignment 4.5 is a forum question and opinion. Assignment 4.7 is a reflection number 3. And Unit 5 is about creative and critical thinking. And Assignment 5.3 is an outline comparison of short story styles. Colloquialism and slang. So colloquial language is informal language used in everyday speech. Slang is also informal language used by certain groups of people, which is created by its users and more informal than colloquial speech. Sometimes slang is identified as offensive, and some slang is not offensive. It's just things like, I should have done this, and you're not offending anyone with that language. Neither slang or colloquial language are appropriate in academic writing unless they serve a distinct purpose, perhaps like through dialogue. Here are some colloquial words and phrases to avoid, and probably number 1 would be the phrase a lot. I see that in much of the grade 11 writing that I look at the beginning of a term or year, so you want to avoid that. More colloquial words to avoid. Do not use contractions or cliche words that you perhaps hear a lot or ideas that you hear a lot. Think about also the second last bullet, how you end sentences. Do not end a sentence in a preposition. Try to avoid that. All right, 4.3, create an elevator pitch, a 40 to 60 second video. You're going to present a solution to a world problem like homelessness. You're going to watch the video Best Advertiser Ever 2014. It's an excellent example. Don't get overwhelmed by it, just be inspired by it. Use ethos like the idea of ethics, right or wrong. Use logos like logic, and pathos, emotion, to persuade the audience to your point of view. So include the following. Present the issue right off the bat and make the connection that you have to that issue. Why are you talking about it? Provide a solution to the issue and provide the steps that the audience can take to help. You're going to submit 4.3, the elevator pitch. 4.4 is the effective editorial. You're going to listen and learn from Thuan Elston, a member of the editorial board at USA Today, about how to write an effective editorial. You're going to select and read an editorial from your local newspaper or newsfeed, and you're going to analyze and evaluate the article's effectiveness. You're going to answer 7 questions. Here are the 7 questions. What is the main topic? What is the opinion presented? What techniques can you identify that help to influence the audience? Provide 2 examples or details used that support the author's opinion. Provide 2 facts from an outside source that are used to support the author's opinion. And if there aren't facts, suggest what could have been added to make the editorial stronger. Find 2 sentences that are examples of clear, strong writing, explain why, like perhaps it was a technique that was used, or the wording, the diction, or maybe an example was particularly effective. And number 7, how effective is this article in helping you form your own opinion about the issue? Are you compelled, and why? So the editorial analysis criteria, you want to make sure that you identify the key elements of the newspaper editorial and show the effective persuasive writing. You want to make sure that you evaluate the text structures and how they shape meaning. And your writing, you should show that you understand, that you've got the analysis, you've got that sense of thought that's developed and you've proofread, and your content completes the assignment requirements. And submit 4.4, the editorial analysis. 4.5, what is the issue? It is a forum. So a forum is an activity for students to pose questions and provide opinions. You will pose a strongly worded question in a forum for others to discuss. You will click add a new question. You will also add a response to another student's thread by stating an opinion using the persuasive techniques you've learned. Think of your opinion as a thesis statement. Reply to another student's question by clicking on the topic and selecting reply. So possible forum issues might be, you might kind of be feeling compelled to write about, or think about attitudes towards people with different abilities. Perhaps you might want to look at the issue of army personnel, maybe death penalty and society's reaction, euthanasia, which is also known as mercy killing, the idea of marriage, the possibility of adopting children, divisions of labor depending on gender, unemployment in the country, and the idea of helping people or helping people to help themselves. These are all possible forum issues, or you might have something else that isn't even in this list here. So forum criteria, you're going to be learning, showing your learning through demonstrating your ability to respectfully exchange ideas, and you're going to have different opinions. So you want to think about presenting your question in a way that you're looking for everybody to engage and kind of be welcome of different people's opinions. And you want to articulate your thesis statement, your question, so that you demonstrate your passion for the issue, but also that you're welcoming others' emotional connections and opinions. Your writing should show structure and vocabulary, carefully chosen. Work's been proofread, and you've got the content is completing the assignment requirements. So you're submitting 4-5 forum question and opinion. You're going to use the 4-5 forum what is the issue. It's a link on the main page to upload your forum contribution by clicking on add a new question in the forum. You will add a response to another student's thread by clicking on their topic and selecting reply. So that's how you submit 4-5. 4-7, big ideas, reflection number 3. We've already done 2 of these. So you're reviewing on Unit 4 the assignment topics, global social issues like homelessness. You're going to write a 250-word journal using 3 paragraphs to reflect on your understanding of the big idea. And the big idea is language shapes ideas and influences others. So you have to ask yourself, what does this mean to me? Think about what we have been reading, articles, editorials, and writing, things like that. Assess how the text, the articles, the stories reflect the people who wrote them. So the criteria for the reflection, you want to develop rich understanding and make that idea of connections and meaningful connections in terms of yourself. You also want to make sure that you've got sentence structure and vocabulary that are skillfully written and carefully chosen, and your proofreading and your content contributes to the central idea of the reflection. So you want to submit 4-7, the reflection number 3. And 5-3 is the creative and critical thinking. It's looking at comparing story styles. So you're going to be clicking on these blue links: style, diction and style, figurative language, tone, mood, and voice. You're also going to be reading 2 short stories. You want to compare the style of the 2 short stories, and you're going to complete the worksheet. So style, diction, figurative language, tone, mood, and voice. These are terms you're going to be looking at and reflecting on. So style is basically the way an author writes as opposed to what the author writes. Style creates voice and tone. Diction deals with the literal meaning of the words or denotation, but also connotation, the word's emotional loading. Some words, their meaning is very clear, but sometimes in terms of a circle of society, sometimes there's a sense of this word actually has more meaning. The word might be negative, the word might be positive. Figurative language creates its effect by suggesting meaning beyond the literal interpretation of the word. So metaphor is a comparison. You might have a particular word that's used, but it's also used as a comparison. Tone reflects the author's attitude or emotional feeling that he or she puts into the writing. And mood is the emotional response or feeling of the reader in terms of his or her response to the writing. And voice is an expression of a writer's own thoughts and personality, and we might say that the writer creates or writes in a voice of someone. So you got a screenshot of 5-3 worksheet. You can see that it's focusing on diction and figurative language and sentence structure. And you're going to fill in that worksheet with your comparison analysis of the 2 stories called Great Expectations and Fathers, Sons, Sports. 5-3 short story style comparison criteria. You've got learning targets. You're going to show that you understand the task and you are providing the analysis and looking at the perspectives of the 2 stories. You're going to show how these techniques shape the meaning and demonstrate how the style if it's different, what you sort of see in terms of the comparison of the 2 stories. Also, your written expression, you show your sentence structure, your vocabulary are carefully chosen and you've proofread, and you've got your content clearly filling the idea and what is expected for that assignment. So 5-3, you're going to submit the story style comparison. And if you need to contact your teachers this week, this is our second last week before we finish the course. So we've got 4 assignments that we need to have for this week, but the 5th one is actually due the very first day that we come back after the long weekend. So contact your teachers through Microsoft Teams if you chat if you have any questions.